Hey, if you can hear us well, like in the mic, please let us know, please. We had technical difficulties yesterday. Yeah, I was in such a sad mood. I got a new piece of equipment, and I feel like technical difficulties are for like boys only. I don't feel like we should be experiencing that kind of stuff. Like just like car problems is for boys only. So is having issues with the soundboard. So if y'all can hear us, oh, praise God. Oh, y'all don't even know how bad I'm stressing. All right. So I have my lovely, lovely, lovely guest here, Jay. Say hey.
Hey, y'all. Nice to meet everybody.
Yes. Okay. So I met Jay. Oh, it's been like what,
4
years ago? Okay. I was going to say 4 years ago, I met Jay. She was a client of mine. Always been beautiful. I always had beautiful skin, beautiful everything. And we really clicked and connected. We've been friends on Facebook. And when I was thinking about having this conversation, you were like literally number one to have this conversation with. And I also saw you post about it on Facebook. So I was like, she gonna talk about it.
Yeah, you know me. If I don't do nothing else, I'm definitely gonna talk about it. I'm gonna keep it raw, authentic. Mm-hmm. And as real as I can. I mean, you take it how you take it.
Yes. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the platform. And I'm gonna ask you a couple icebreaker questions just to get started, okay? Okay, so what is something that you have recently learned?
As far as in
just anything, like recently learned about life, about
something that I have recently learned. Mm-hmm. How to change a tire.
Oh wow, really?
Yes, my boyfriend taught me how to change one.
Yeah.
Because he literally drove like 45 minutes to come change my tire.
As he should.
And I'm just like, I'm not gonna change my tire.
Okay.
So he was like, oh my God, I gotta get off the road to come change the tire. I'm like, yeah, like
right.
What am I supposed to do?
Okay, damsel in distress. Come and get me.
He came and he was like, get out of the car, get out of the car. Remind you, girl, it's hot.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you really want me to get out of the car? He was like, I need to show you this so you can know one time and one time only because I ain't gonna be here forever. I was like, well,
we got to get replaced.
When we get to that point, we'll worry about that.
Right.
But right now you're here.
Right. Okay.
So I learned how to change the tire.
That seems traumatic. I'm not gonna lie.
It really is.
That seems traumatic. Okay, I think one thing I recently learned was invest in those that invest in you. And that's like relationships, friendships, like spending time with somebody, like people that invest that time. I am not even talking about money, but just like time. Stuff that's not tangible.
Because people feel the real time is something you can't get back.
Right.
So even if it's like I'm calling you and say, hey, let's hang out, let's do something. Like I'm giving you my time.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people nowadays don't appreciate
they don't
or know the cost of it is to give someone your time.
Right.
So that's very appreciable. That's a good thing to learn about.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Are you more productive in the morning or at night?
Night.
Okay.
I am not a morning person. I hate being up before 8 o'clock.
You do?
I hate morning.
Okay, last question. And this is a hot topic. Is there a way for men and women to disagree with the trans community without being called transphobic?
It's definitely a way. At the end of the day, it's more about a respect and the words that you use. A lot of people don't know how to dilate or not educated on certain words. So, just for the prime example, when she used the word delusional, it's like that's putting people in a state of craze or they don't know what's going on.
Right.
We clearly know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So that's I think that's my biggest thing, just being respectful, learning that person's boundaries, and just learning how to communicate effectively.
Right.
Because everybody don't have the same belief. Everybody don't have the same opinion. And that's okay.
Right.
Long as I respect you in your personal space and you respect me in my personal space, guess what? We can get along.
Right. Okay. So she was referencing the video by Jess Hilarious. And I feel like, look, call roadside assistance. Look, hey girl, hey Ebony.
Hey Ebony.
What's up, boo? My mama said hey.
Hey, Miss Amanda.
All right, yeah, we're gonna have to call roadside assistance because baby, it ain't gonna be a way that I'm gonna be getting down on the ground.
I'm not getting out no car.
All right, so Jay was referencing the video about Just Hilarious. If you guys haven't seen it, we're gonna show it and we're definitely gonna get into it. I had that discussion on my post yesterday. I know yesterday went a little crazy, but today we're back and better. And so we're gonna play the clip. Hold on. I'm gonna just talk while I get it loaded up. But yeah, we're gonna play the clip for those that haven't seen it, and then we're gonna get into it. So y'all bear with
We're
me.
definitely going to get into it. So y'all make sure y'all listen
Right.
and comprehend.
Here we go. All right, let me put my headphones on before I hit play. Okay.
What I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different.
Girl,
Y'all, wait a minute. Hold on.
we got to get this together.
Oh, y'all need to go check out the video. Hey, it's out of my control. It's out of my control. Y'all need to go check out the video. I should have had a man here figuring this out. If
Where
my
is she at?
look, I would. We finna go on a 30-second break. Let me see if I can play with the controls real quick. Oh Lord, you know what? Y'all, give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we back. I'm gonna see if I can get it played. If I can't, then y'all, I'm sorry. This is my first time using this thing, and I'm still learning. So let's try again. Okay. This is better at touch screen.
What I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity.
I can't get it to play. I'm sorry. But basically, I'm gonna give you guys a gist of. I know, oh brother. Look, if you can help me out, girls shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff.
Thank you.
We shouldn't. But anyways, so the gist of what happened was Jess Hilarious basically said that you guys are delusional. That you should be in a straitjacket. She said a lot of stuff. I think I can play the video on my phone. Hold on.
That'd be great.
It's a little
Because I really want the people to understand. So when I dissect this, nobody is lost. Nobody is not understanding what's going on.
Here we go.
The audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're trying to find Jess Hilarious.
How do we get?
Where did I find her?
It's after she get finished speaking where she was.
Oh, this is the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The audacity.
Here is Jess Hilarious.
What the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
All right, y'all. That's what Jess Hilarious had to say. So what was your response when you first heard that video?
So when I first heard the video, it was like, it didn't really ruffle me or bother me. It was a lot of it being just naive and uneducated, because even when she was speaking, I kind of felt like she was speaking with malice, intent, hatefulness. And a lot of people, that's why I say you have to be careful how you speak, because at the end of the day, we have to be careful how we speak to anyone in general. But the biggest ordeal for me was the delusion, was that we don't respect women. My mother is a Black woman. My grandmother is a Black woman. I respect no one more than I respect those two women. So when she speaks, it looks on her end like I'm speaking for all women. And at the end of the day, you can't do that. At the end of the day, as far as gatekeeping, true, we can't have periods. True, we can't have babies. True, we know that. So where does that make us delusional? Yeah.
So what about the people out there that are in the trans community and they feel like, well, a uterus implant is just a couple years away. We're going to be able to have a baby. We're going to be able to have a C-section. We're going to be able to have everything that you have. So we're going to be able to be women just like in the same capacity as you. There are people out there that have those ideologies too.
And when you say that, like I said, I'm not saying that it's not. But what I'm saying is, as far as when you're speaking, just make sure, like, I feel like when she was speaking, she should have just made it more of her perspective from her lens. And I think more it was just the point of her being referenced as trans, and that's where that kind of stem from. Like, how dare you? I'm a real female. How can you do that? As far as in the ideal of that, I think for some people, childbearing is a thing that they want to experience. I can't say we can necessarily take that from them, but in the ideal of womanhood, I wouldn't too much say that, hey, or they might not even feel, well, this makes me a woman. You get what I'm saying? So we don't know, because we don't know how they're thinking, how they feel. So the only thing we're going on is off of our perspective and how we're looking at it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why when I dissect a lot of stuff, I try to be open-minded for the most part, because in order for you to listen, you have to comprehend. And a lot of people don't comprehend because they, just like when the clip came up about gatekeeping periods, the young lady was actually talking about trans men and intersexual people. So I felt like when Jess saw that, in her mind, it's like, okay, I'm finna take this little segment and I'm finna put a spin on it, and I'm finna speak on my perspective, how I feel about just this part. It wasn't even about women.
So if Jess would have had her same message, but her delivery was not as harsh, do you think it would have been more palatable?
It will. It would have been, because for me, it was all about the words that she used.
Right.
As far as in like delusional, straitjacket, we want to be women, etc., etc. I never wanted a period. I don't want kids. Don't. If I choose to have kids, I can do that. But as a state of delusion, I've never been in a state of delusion.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Like, what is your response to people saying that if you're in the trans community, that some of you may be delusional or may have a mental illness? Like, what is your response to that?
My response to that is, first of all, let's be more educated and real aware about what delusion is. And as far as mental illness, let's make sure we know the concept of what mental illness is. Because as far as me, only thing they would diagnose me with is gender dysphoria, which that's basically saying this is what you're under. It's not saying you're delusional. It's not saying that you don't know what you are. It's saying we have a diagnosis code for you, and we have to connect the prognosis with the diagnosis. That's it. It don't make me delusional. It don't make me.
Is that an illness? Is gender dysphoria a form of mental illness?
No.
Okay.
Gender dysphoria is more of the state of. I wouldn't say it's okay. Let me break it down. It's not a mental illness for one. It's more this is what I'm conforming to, because this is who I am.
So what does dysphoria mean?
You can look up dysphoria because people have body dysphoria, people have gender dysphoria. Dysphoria is just meaning like a lack of something, or I wouldn't say it's a fear. It's just like more of the concept of not knowing. And I think when people bring that up, it's just like, oh, is this something we must fear? And it's not.
It says dysphoria is a state of feeling very unhappy, uneasy, or dissatisfied. So, and it's linked to like depression, low energy, flattened emotions, lack of interest in intimacy. I ain't gonna say the word because I ain't trying to give in. And physical immobility. So for someone to have dysphoria, they have other things like experience unaliving themselves. They may cause harm to themselves or others, feeling hopeless, worthiness. But it doesn't particularly list any mental illnesses like depression.
Hello.
So, hey, dysphoria, I guess, is not classified as a mental illness, but I will say, in some people's opinion, they may think it is. But I also want to say this too. Mm-hmm. I do feel like, and I want to say this out entirely, I do feel like there are some trans that are mentally ill, but I also feel like it's a lot of people that's walking around that's like mentally ill too. That
are not diagnosed, but are mentally ill.
Right.
So when we bring that out in the foreplay, it's like, how do we dissect that? Because pedophilia is a mental illness, but you don't hear people talking about that.
Right.
It's soon as trans the topic, it's like let's jump on the topic. Let's jump on the topic.
I think possibly, and I'm gonna give you a little pushback.
As you do.
It seems like it is heavily enforced on us to be accepting of it, and if we aren't, then we are going to be classified as being transphobic, right? And so as a person, I'm a heterosexual woman, and I know I've asked you questions about things in the community, so I don't want to ever come off as offensive. But I remember I told you, like, the way, if I feel like if I just ask a question on the comment section, the way I feel like some people would attack me is terrifying. Like, and I also feel like this, being called transphobic has lost its like nostalgia, right?
It has, because people feel like as soon as you're against their belief or what they say, you're transphobic. I don't feel that way. How you feel about me is, I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it's really none of my concern,
right?
Because I live in my truth. I'm happy and I'm confident with who I am. I always been an open person. I always been transparent. I never want no one to feel like they're not in a place of safety with me where they cannot talk to me or where they cannot come to me and say, hey, what are your pronouns? You know, when we first met, that was the first thing you was like, hey, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but what are your pronouns? A lot of people feel like, why should I have to ask you that? If you look like a man, I'm going to call you a man. Or if you look like a woman, I'm going to call you a woman.
So, like I told you, I was educated very shortly before I met you about that. And I have adopted that into my professional work because I don't ever want to offend anybody, you know what I mean? Because I could see, like I said, Cedric the Entertainer, but they want to go by a woman, you know, and they're only with me for an hour. I don't want to be disrespectful for an hour. You know what I mean? Like if it's cool for that moment. But I also will say this, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this today. I have asked that question before, but typically I feel like my cognitive skills have led me to think this person may be of the LGBTQ plus community, and I don't want to offend them. Because like when I met my friend I was talking to that, I had never asked her that. I never did. I just call her like, hey girl, hey Z, and other people. But I feel like it's not a bad energy. It's not, but it's an energy that be like, you need to ask.
Let's speak on that.
Okay.
And that's from the perspective of one female, which is you.
Right.
That's how you see it. That's in your lens. I can't neglect that because that's how you feel at the end of the day. Only thing I can be is respectful. Learn how to communicate with you. Learn how to decide my words so we can be in one playing field. I feel like a lot of people feel like, I don't want to say a lot of women because I'm just going to say the women that I encounter is always that element of, you're not a woman. You're not better than me. I'm more superior than you. But it's like, why do you have to have the energy with me when I didn't come in with that energy? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I do feel like you have to have discernment when it comes to like that. But
can we say that word?
You have to have discernment. But I do also feel like there are people in the trans community that it seems like they want to erase women's spaces, right? Or I feel like sometimes it's like, hold on, let me get my thought out.
Come on.
I feel like right now in society, it's like we have men things and then we have trans women and cis women things. And that I'm not saying that we shouldn't find a way to all get along, but there are certain things, like I talked to you yesterday about like the tampon commercial.
Yeah.
Like the market for tampons are not cis are cis women, or I hate to say the word cis women, but they are cis women and they are not trans women. And for you to be a trans woman up there telling me how great the tampon feels, I just don't want to see you up there. I'm in an irritable space already. My back hurt, my stomach hurt, I'm feeling hot and sick. I got all this going on, and I see a person up there that does not have the experiences that I'm having right now trying to sell me a product. It doesn't correlate. And
it doesn't. And like when we had that conversation yesterday, is when you see that, does that mean I must take this out on the next trans I see? Or should I take this out on the people who's having this commercial?
Well, that's what they did. They took it out on the business.
So that's what I'm saying. And like when people see that, it's like, oh, I don't want to be in this space with this cis woman or trans because of what I'm seeing. But that's not our fault. We're not putting it out there. At the end of the day, as far as like for me, and I can only speak for me, let me be clear. I can only speak for me in my perspective and who I am as an individual. I've been trans medically for 3 years, but I have embodied and physically been living as trans since I was 18. Let's break that down first. My whole ordeal with that was I never once, even when I was younger as a child, I never felt comfortable. I never felt happy. I always felt displacing. I always felt like I didn't belong. I always felt I was different. Because I was one of the boys. I'm not gonna go outside and play in the dirt. I'm not gonna play football. Y'all not gonna tackle me. Y'all not gonna get me dirty. I'm finna, be in the house with my mom. I'm finna, do stuff that's soft. And a lot of people look at it because the first thing people want to bring up is, oh, you didn't stay in a 2-parent home. I had my mom and dad in a home. Or people say, oh, you was molested as a child. I've never been touched as a child.
Blessings.
Hello. So it's just like everybody try to wrap this thing around the reason why you are instead of just accepting the fact that we are who we are because that's who we are and we're here.
Right. So, okay. I'm going to touch on what Jess said or what she was responding to. So do you feel like women are gatekeeping womanhood and or gatekeeping like menstrual cycles periods?
No, that's y'all. That's for your answer handle. I can't tell you that experience. As far as I feel like womanhood is different for any individual. As for me, I feel like I didn't really come into my home womanhood until I got my boobs done. Even though I've been living as a woman for over the past 15, 20 years, I didn't feel like I could form into my womanhood until I got my boobs done. And that was for me. I can't speak on your womanhood, what you feel like you are a woman. I feel like when people throw that around, it's that premise of being, because women are territorial.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And I feel like it's like we don't want y'all to have this. Y'all can't be included because this is ours. Y'all got it.
I do feel like sometimes they try to pick us apart though, right? So like you have a uterus, we gonna get a uterus. You can have kids, we can have kids. You have breasts, we can have breasts. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like, and I don't feel like those things define womanhood. I know some people reference like menstrual cycles is the moment of womanhood, but as a person that has had one, I got my menstrual cycle when I was in 6th grade. My mom ain't never called me no woman at 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I think it is definitely determined upon becoming an adult and being able to be like self-sufficient to a certain capacity where you are considered grown. I don't think it has anything to do with a body part, but I also feel like it does dwindle down to like a chromosome thing. You know what I mean?
Just like later, when I was telling you about the female player who got all her awards taken from her because she had a lot of testosterone in her levels, and she was born woman. But on the aspect anniversary of that's okay,
right?
But when it's turned to us, it's like, no, you're mentally ill, you're delusional. That's not supposed to be right. So what's good for the goose should be good for the gander.
What you mean?
Because, and I say this because I've seen people will accept someone being lesbian or bisexual before they accept a guy who's gay or someone who's trans. And that always blew my mind because I'm like, that is crazy.
So
from your perspective, can you tell me how do you feel about that?
Okay. If I'm honest,
let's be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I do feel like if you are going to be lesbian or if you're going to be gay or whatever, that they have respectively operated within whatever parameters that they set for themselves, right? So like, I don't really know what those parameters are, but let's just say you dress in whatever way you want to dress. You go and do the things that you want to do. Go to the, to whatever. I don't know. Whatever they do. I do feel like I mentioned before, it seems like there are men's spaces and then there are spaces that are cis women and trans women spaces. Like there is no separation of the two. And when you think of like sports, for example, like I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of ruckus or chaos in men's sports about trans men like trying to infiltrate their sporting events and become top contenders. Because what you have seen in women's sports are men that were operating in men's sports sucked. Coming over to female sports, now identifying as women, and they are at the top of the gang, you know what I mean? And because they do have some enhancements, like I know that there are hormones that are taken, that they have less testosterone and more estrogen and things like that, but that doesn't stop the fact that that man or that now called woman has gone through puberty as a full male. You know what I mean? Like the wingspan, the lung capacity, the hand size, the feet size, agility, all of those things don't just dwindle down because 2 years ago you decided you want to, transition over to being a woman. Right. And so I feel like it's specifically in that space, it's like we don't have the opportunity to just compete against women. Right.
Now, as yesterday, we spoke about that. And that's something I never agree with. Do purposely for that. The when we bring up bio and the chemistry and anatomy of a man, I never felt like that was okay or cool. But just because I feel that way, that don't mean the next person feel that way. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say at the end of the day, it's all about respect, boundaries, and perspective for the next person. Just like I grew up Baptist. That's the home I grew in. Regardless of what you believe, your belief, I fully believe in the Bible. But that's the first thing people want to bring up. Oh, the Bible, you have the Bible thumpers, you have the people who want to bring up church, then you have the people who want to bring up the medical side. But at the end of the day, if you take all that out, the political side, the Bible side, and the medical side, what are you left with? Right. Respect. Because that's what it's boiled down to.
Do you feel like respect is reciprocated though?
It is, depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah, because I don't know what I would call somebody that was like anti-heterosexual.
I don't know you.
Like, are you heterophobic? Like, what is that? But it seems like we have to conform and accept more. Like, okay, I would say this. It doesn't seem like the spaces that trans women want to enter, that they have asked, is this okay? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, we are women too. We need to be able to do these things. Like, even down to the bathroom thing. I know that was like a huge thing.
I was waiting on that to come up.
So, in my opinion, if I'm honest, I don't feel safe in any public restroom. You know what I mean? I don't care who was in there. If it's nobody in there, if it's 2 girls in there, I always feel like, I'm going to go use the restroom, but like, also I don't want to stand too close to these people. I don't know what's going on with them. But introducing the trans community to the women's restroom opens up other avenues that I don't feel like trans women acknowledge. Hold on, let me get there. So like, if we were to say people that identify as women can come into the restroom, that could look like anything, right? And if I'm honest, I don't want to use the restroom next to the Rock because the Rock is like, I'm now identifying as a female.
Mhm.
It's just not comfortable to me.
Mhm.
But like I said, I ain't really comfortable in public spaces anyways. But like, that's one boundary that I feel like ain't nobody asked us, can y'all come up in here?
Mhm.
But now, like, they're pushing laws and things like that, which I feel like you guys should be able to use a restroom.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a restroom that I want to share, if I'm honest. Like, or maybe we can create a space where there is a men's restroom and there is a women's restroom and there is a family restroom or something like that. I feel like it should always be an option, because I don't think that someone as a trans woman should be forced to go into a male's restroom when they have, you know, gone through those changes to become a woman.
I feel like we don't have a choice. We must accept and
hold on, how about it?
And be redefined.
Let's see. I feel like we don't have a choice. We must accept and be redefined. And that's why I went when I said, like, you know, the transphobic thing.
Right. So, because let me talk about the bathroom situation real quick. For me, I'm not going to go in no men's restroom, because why would I do that? I feel like for girls like me, statistically speaking, we are murdered 3 out of 5 by Black men, for one. And me even going into a male's restroom is putting my life in jeopardy. If I'm going to a women's bathroom, baby, I'm not stunned what you doing over there. I'm not stunned what you got going on over there. I don't care how you pissing. None of that. Ooh, can we say that word?
It's too late.
I don't care about none of that, baby. I'm just here to use the bathroom, clean my hands, and go.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about what's on the other side of that stall. I'm not concerned about who's the next person next to me. I'm trying to get in and get out. That's it. But I feel like people make that problem, because at the end of the day, if I walk in the bathroom, you don't know I'm trans. But if I was coming in the bathroom and say, yeah, I'm trans, then you got that side eye like, why are you in the bathroom? So why does it matter?
It matters because I think, like, growing up as a female, you just always have your heightened sense of like what's going on around you. And so, like you said, I'm gonna just go in there and do what I got to do and get out. I don't really care about you. And I think, like, I don't want to be rude when I say this, but that's definitely very male centered in the space. Like, I feel like that's how men operate. You know what I mean? Like, I'm finna go up in here, I'm finna do what I got to do, I'm finna bounce. And women are more so, in my opinion, or at least women that I know, all the women that I would say are more hyper vigilant of what's going on around us, because we are the weaker race, you know what I mean? Like, or the weaker sex, I would say. We aren't as dominant, we aren't as strong, things like that. So I guess we're always having our head on a swivel, like taking a scan of the room, right? And then, like I said, men usually are like, I'm the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? Like, most men are going to be more dominant over women. And so they can go in and operate and do their stuff and go.
Yeah, but like, I feel like and for me, I wouldn't use the word dominant, because, you know, when you use certain words, people take that and run with it. As for me, it's just me minding my business. That's it. I feel like, as far as just like when the conversational conversation came up, she didn't take the time to read or watch the whole video. She took what she wanted, ran with it, and said what she said. That because you weren't minding your business. That because you felt how you felt because of the perspective of what you was already probably still feeling the week before when you got labeled as a trans. And so you took them like, okay, it's my time to rant on about how I'm feeling. And you took your feeling. Not only did you go public with it, not only did you, I feel like, for me, I would never want to dumb nobody down who wants to know, who's genuinely concerned about how can I operate in a space where we're both safe and protected. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, law-wise, trans women are not protected as they need to be. Black women are not protected as they need to be. I've never in my life saw a trans woman jump on a Black woman ever before. But I've seen several Black men jump on women. I don't even play that when it comes to my own friends, my female friends. I would check you before you feel like you finna do anything to harm them while they're with me. So when that stuff come about, it's never talked about. But as soon as gender, sex, you being trans, you being a woman, or whatever the case may be, we take that and run with it. Why is that? Why we just can't come to a playing field and say, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I believe. This is how I feel. This is what I believe. How can we compromise and be in a safe space for each other. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if we were to get on the same playing field, the force would be inevitable. It would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody was to fight for the right of right.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people love to talk about, oh, I'm Christian. Okay, regardless of you Christian or not, you're supposed to love thy neighbor, regardless of regardless who they is, what they got going on, what they doing, any of that.
Mm-hmm. So it just goes back to my question, like, can you disagree with parts of the trans community and not be transphobic?
Of course.
Can you give me an example of like somebody in the media like disagreeing with trans?
Jess, for example.
But she was labeled transphobic. So I'm saying, can you give me an example of someone that has like publicly disagreed with the trans community and then they were not?
Smiley.
Okay.
Rick Smiley have had plenty of rants where he disagreed not only with the trans community but with the gay community.
Okay.
But it's all about the dissection of what you say out of your mouth.
Right. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's all about communicating effect. It's just like, I'm not going to say nothing to make you feel like you dumb down. I'm not going to say nothing to make you feel like I'm aggressive or if I have malice intent against you. Because if I don't know, just like it's been questions you ask me, and I'm just like, girl, how you don't know that? But I don't feel no type of way about explaining and helping you understand. So that way we're both comfortable in the same space.
Right. Because I do feel like there should be a way to communicate authentically without having to particularly use parameters to like not be offensive. And I'm even catching myself right now, like making sure that I don't use any words that are offensive, not because it's a part of my language, but because I feel I can talk to you and just say what I need to. But I know that we have people that are listening that don't know my personality. They don't know where I'm coming from. And that's the fear of like I said, just commenting and asking a question. Like, I feel like it, like, because I can ask a question and somebody be like, oh, you're transphobic.
Like you said, that's how you feel. Have you been in that situation?
Oh, no, because I don't be commenting. But I see people. I seen it. I seen it way too many times. Hold on, we're going to answer some questions. All right. Let's see some comments. I guess y'all should have your own bathroom because you never know how a female or male can feel about you being there. Let's see. Men are more aggressive about stuff like that. What you talking about, Grindr? We're talking about a lot of different things. Can you tell me specifically what you were talking about? Let's see. You getting some hearts, girl.
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. We haven't been. The conversation been so good. We really haven't been looking at the conversation. The comments.
There we go. You gotta compliment, girl.
Jay, you are rare. This conversation is great. Thank you so much, Wanda. And then you know what? It's crazy because I actually get that a lot. I actually get people to tell me, you know, I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I was able to have this conversation with you. I'm glad that you was able to educate me because I'm all about education.
Right.
I'm all about being in a safe space where you're comfortable and I'm comfortable. Even though we have different background, different belief, at the end of the day, it's just like you working with somebody. I don't like my manager, but I know how to go to work, be respectful, do my job, and go home. So,
question. How do you what does cisgender mean and why is it so widely used?
I don't know. For one, cis is a Latin word.
Okay.
For two, I don't add it.
Yeah.
Child.
I feel like
cis is whatever you want it to be to me. And I'm not saying that being funny. Let me be clear. I say that because when you bring up cis, it just seems like people get scatterbrained.
I don't like it.
To the point where it's just like, what is that? Why I have to be a cis woman? Why I just can't be woman? And then, T.S. Smith made the conversation. She was like, well, let's just take cis away and just call y'all real women. Somebody gonna get mad about it, like, why can't it just be women? It's like, at the end of the day, what do you want?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in that space, it's a space of trying being comfortable and respectful for both sex. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like people look at it as competition. Because that's that tutorial thing about female is we were here first. This is us. This is what it's gonna be. But it's like, why can't we just coexist?
Do you think men are territorial?
No, you just said it yourself. Men are just like whatever, like child. I don't care.
I mean, like when they're going in, throughout life, but I feel like they're territorial about their things. You don't think so?
But I don't feel like they care as much as women do. As far as in like, I feel like for women, it's more of we're superior.
Mhm.
This is us, and this is y'all, and y'all need to know that. I don't think, as for men, I don't feel insuperior or non-superior to nobody.
Mhm.
That's just me. I am who I am. I am what I bring to the table. As far as in what you feel is superior for you,
Mhm.
that's you.
Right.
Just like whatever it is for me, it's me. I don't look at you no different. I don't look like I get people tell me all the time, "Oh, you think you're better than me?" No, I don't. I'm just doing me. I'm living in my truth. My confidence can be a reason why people feel superior, because when I walk into a room, I own it.
Mhm.
I don't care who's standing there, who's there. I see me when I enter a room.
Mhm.
And I have people, females, heterosexual female, come up to me and like, "Who do you think you is?"
Mm.
I don't even know you.
Mhm.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing? That because I'm in a space where they feel like they have to protect. You get what I'm saying?
So, do you think that men and like trans men are having these same type of disagreements in their
No.
community? Why? Why do you think so?
I feel that way because at the end of the day, it's like I have a real close friend who's a trans man,
Mhm.
and we actually sat down and have a conversation one day, and she was like telling me, she was like, "Yeah, me and the boys, we went out to the club, we went, did X, Y, and Z." And I'm like, "Girl, I brought up this same scenario to my home, girl," and she was like, "No, Jess, we can't do that because her that words to me was, I feel like if we do that, what she said." I feel like I know she said something like, if we do that, I wouldn't be comfortable because I don't want it to feel like I'm jealous of you and nothing like that. I'm like, girl, we just going out. We just, it was something about going out to the club, to doing a certain like group activity. And I'm like, she was like, well, I just feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want to talk about it? Because I don't want you to feel that way.
Mhm.
And she told me, no, I don't want to talk about it. I'm done with it. Okay.
Okay. I want to ask you a question, Wendell. Cis is a medical term and it's been around since the 20s.
It has.
Why has it not been used as frequently as it has? Like, I mean, 100. It came out 100 years ago. So why is it like so frequent today? Like, it's a genuine question because I hear it so much.
Yeah.
Like, cis this, cis that, cis man, cis this. I'm like, oh my God.
And let me tell you something. I never use cis ever because it's just not in my vocabulary. Because at the end of the day, woman, men. That's it.
Right. And then like I've seen so there's a documentary that I watched about Matt Walsh. I was telling you that the other day. But Matt Walsh was on Dr. Phil, I believe. I watched a lot of his little conversations about this subject. But there are some people out there that don't want to be called trans woman or trans man, I guess. But they still feel like they are entitled to call us cis women against our will. And so sometimes it feels like the power dynamic isn't fair. Like the pendulum isn't swinging both ways because you have someone who is like, hey, don't call me this. I identified this, blah, 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 blah. And then like, I'm like, hey, don't call me cis. And they like, well, it's a medical term and it's been around since the 20s. You know what I mean? It's like always kind of like seeming like sometimes we have to conform so much.
But that's just like with us. We have to conform a lot because I think for us, for me, I just want to be in a space where let's be honest, a lot of women are not respected. A lot of Black women are not respected. A lot of trans women are not respected. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you think I went through all this to transition to be someone that I normally I am on the inside to not be respected? No, I didn't. Because in order for me to respect you, you have to respect me. In order for me to compromise with you, you have to compromise with me.
Right.
And I say that because at the end of the day is we're two different people. We're on two different spectrum of life. And I can't fault you for what you don't know. You can't fault me for what I don't know. You can't fault me what I'm not used to, what I don't know. and I can't do the same. And I feel a lot of this come from being uneducated and this type of conversation not being had more than often.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because when first time when people hear trans, it's what is that? Or I don't like that because my mama don't like that. I don't like that because I'm Christian. I don't like that because of XYZ. Prime example, one of my very close friends, very heavy in Christianity. And she, after me and her became close, she told me, she said, I don't agree with, and she told me out her mind blankly, she said, I don't agree with nothing you do. She said, but I don't like that to take from you as a person and who you are. She said, Jess, I love you. And that made me feel so good because at the end of the day, it's like, despite of your belief, you still love me for who I am.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like that because we had that conversation, that because the first time when she seen me, she didn't see trans. She saw a person, she saw a human being. That's why I've always worked in corporate America, always. I never had issue with getting a job. I never had an issue with filling out application. I never had an issue with an interview because despite of who I am, you're hiring me because of what I bring to the table.
Right.
You're being my friend because of the type of friend I am. You're not being my friend because I'm trans, because I'm African American. None of that.
Right.
And if we get rid of a lot of that when we're having that diverse between women and men, so much will die down and so much will be more understood.
I do agree with you too. I hope I'm saying your name right, Wendell. I do think I do feel like we should be able to disagree because I can't think of anything like outside of this, but just like anything in the world where I like agree 100% like on everything.
Right.
Other than the fact that water is good for you. You know what I mean? Right. That's like probably the only thing and that you should eat every day. All right, let's see. I don't necessarily feel competitive. My issue is being redefined as a person when I'm accepting of who you are as a person and who you identify as. Yeah. Oh, y'all want to call in? Ooh.
Oh, girl.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get y'all to call in. Because y'all know I got my new soundboard. I ain't go over there yet.
Is it some more coming?
Yeah, it's some more. All right. We are easy. Men don't require all that.
Hey, and you know what? And the fact that he brought that up, let me be clear. I done had heterosexual men inbox me because they see my pictures first, and men are visual. And then when they find out that I'm trans, because I never had the fact I'm who I am, because I don't never want you to be confused or not know what's going on. And I also have men to say, I do apologize, but you are pretty or you're beautiful. And I showed that to one of my friends, and she was like, why men don't do us like that? And it became more of a competitive than me showing her this is what I deal with on a daily basis. This is what, is a part of my life. It became more of, oh, men don't do me like that. Man, why do you feel that way?
I think that's a jealous friend. I think that's just a jealous friend. All right. I was trying to read that.
We brought it to the forefront.
Big J, not the little one. Love you, sis. You definitely light up a room. Shut it down.
Love you, Ebony.
Yes. All right. Is this a question about the? Okay, because we have brought it to the forefront of the conversation. Is this about the? I think this is about the cis gender. So why is cisgender used so heavily 100 years later? Because we have brought it to the forefront of the conversation. And I'm not trying to be funny, but for what? Like, what's the purpose of using cisgender when it has gone nearly 100 years of only, I guess, being used in the medical field? You know what I mean? Like, what is the purpose for it serving like today? Because it's a lot of medical terms that I feel like we don't use today
at all.
I mean, did you hit your tibula today? I don't know. So I'm just curious about like, why is that a medical term that is like, I feel like thrusted upon us? All right. Let's see. Do you feel as though trans women receive more backlash than trans men?
Yes. I definitely feel that way because it's hard because men don't want us in their space. Women don't want us in their space. And some of our own community don't want us in their space. So it is hard to, and that's why I tell them about it. Do you think I would want to go through life dealing with this because I want to be a one? No, I did this because this is who I am. You get what I'm saying? And people don't see that because it's that little thing in the back of their brain. They say, oh, you want to be a woman, you want to be like me. No, sweetie. I just want to live my truth. I want to be happy. I want to be confident
I don't really see trans men as loud.
They're not.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like men have a way of passage, right? And a law of the land. As
but
you
why
speak.
is that?
Because men have always been the superior of the two. You know what I mean? Like, they call the shots. The laws, everything that is the membrane of our society has been created
by
and
men.
pushed by men. And so some people feel like, because I'm gonna just speak freely, and I don't mean to be offensive in this way, but some people feel like because you men have grown up in a society where they are the catered to between the two, between men and female, men are usually the more catered to sex, that they have received some entitlement, right? And so you see men walk throughout life with entitlement. They have the most audacity out of everybody on the earth.
They do.
You know what I mean?
That stuff from at home,
right? And so it almost feels like, and I guess as a woman, I have never. I mean, like, I don't really feel entitled to things. I mean, like, I feel like entitled to certain spaces. Like, this is my podcast room. You know what I mean? But like throughout life, I don't feel like I am the catered to sex. And people feel like because men inherit that, like, subconsciously, that now that they've transitioned to become women, that they have carried that subconscious here, and they feel like they are entitled to certain spaces.
But that's what I said. That comes from that perspective. Like, at the end of the day, you just stated how you feel. That's not who I am.
Right. I don't feel like you've ever given me that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's how you feel. That's your perception of that. But that you know me, you know that's not you. And if a lot of people was to get down to their point of like, I respect the boundaries enough to say, let me have this conversation with you. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out, you know, what's the common denominator, how we can get to a place of just being safe, and we can both walk away with dignity and respect from each other. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when you first met me, you know me from a can of paint. I didn't know how you was going to take me.
But you were so sweet.
I am. You know.
You were so
Unless
sweet.
I don't have to be.
Yeah, you were so sweet. I mean, I couldn't take you anything but like with grace, because you were just the sweetest thing. I promise.
Because, you know, I'm a lady. Huh?
You know.
I carry myself as such.
And I be telling you all my little secrets. I remember telling you all my little secrets.
Yes.
All right. So I got another question. What was your opinion about like Target, that backlash, Bud Light, that backlash, and like the capital that they received after? I know Target had released the LGBTQ merchandise for like children, and then Budweiser. Did you see that commercial?
The Bud Light one.
The Bud Light. Well, basically they had. Is the person's name Dylan? I can't remember. If you know in the comments, can you drop down I don't know the pronouns. I don't know what the pronouns are. I think it's a woman.
The Bud Light one, no.
You haven't?
No.
Basically, they put a trans woman on the Bud Light commercial, and the men was not having it, and they boycotted the heck out of Bud Light. Like, they sent the beers back from like private bars. Some places don't carry it.
So, prime example. That's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, we don't get the respect either, because men still feel superior to the fact, why is a trans woman up there? So that's why I say at the end of the day, when I started transitioning, for me, it was more of, I've always been soft. I always been like ladylike. I always had, my mind always thought like a woman. I never was aggressive, unless I have to be. I never was someone who, you know, have to take the lead or something. I was more of, you know, if somebody else want to do that, they can do it.
Right. Right.
I just, you know, just like to that age, as far as me and my relationship, my partner is more dominant than me, and I'm okay with that. He leads and I follow, and people will look at me because my partner's a gentleman. Like, he open doors, he hold the chairs out so I can sit down, and people will look at us like, you know, why are you doing that for me? And I actually had women some, you know, how you get that from a black man?
Oh, y'all know my favorite quote. When you raise the barrier of entry, you force the standard to rise. So you need to start requiring your partner, whoever.
Because, you know, I don't require anything less.
You know what I mean? Come on. Come on. Okay, so basically you feel like that was not okay. You feel like men were kind of wrong for
yes.
okay.
I do.
So how do you feel about in I think it was like 2013, 2014 when the trans community or not the trans community, the LGBTQ community decided to boycott Chick-fil-A?
Girl, I don't eat Chick-fil-A no way. So as far as in that, it's just like for me, I'm not gonna say I don't care because that does matter, but it's just like I don't hear the words for it. It's like, why? Who cares? Like, why is there such an uproar about? It's just like if you selling a product and you don't want to say it to me because I'm trans. Okay, I'm pretty sure somebody else who's selling that same product is somebody else around who's selling a chicken sandwich that I can get. Like, it just don't bother me.
But both parties acted in support of what they believed in.
Exactly.
But it wasn't wrong for people to boycott Chick-fil-A. But it was not a good thing for them to boycott Target.
No, I'm saying it wasn't wrong for them to do that either.
Yeah.
I feel like if at the end of the day, if you feel like your belief and you fighting for something, is that right? You have that right to do so. But as far as in me, just some spaces, some things I just don't feel like I have to fight for.
Right.
And I'm not going to because I'm not going to put myself in that situation because at the end of the day, if it don't, I ain't gonna say certain things don't affect me that I could, get my attention to, but if it don't affect me, my life, my money, or how anything that's going to be, not constructive to what I got going on, I don't too much pay no attention.
Right. I do. I kind of move through life like that too. Like I even kind of I troll on social media. Like if I scroll past something I don't like, I just be like, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. All right, we're gonna
look at some of these questions down here. Her name is Shay. Yes, my name is Jess, or you can call me Jay. Jay is my nickname.
Yes.
But my full name is Jazzy Chanel. Y'all can find me on Facebook at Jazzy J. That's with an E.
Okay, hold on. I want to see what Wendell said. You are free to feel how you want to feel. Just don't expect anyone to support you. That's life. I do agree.
And that's just that. But at the end of the day, even though you're being not supportive, you can always be respectful. Respect is given to a dog.
Right.
And that's why I feel like people don't understand by the way we talk, by our mannerism, by the way we portray or what we put out to people. At the end of the day, it's about how. How.
Right.
How can I be in a safe space with where you understand where I'm coming from, I understand where you come from, even though it's two different beliefs and we disagree, we can still hold hands and be like, girl, let's go do this. Let's go get this money.
Right. No, I agree. 100%. All right. For you guys that are looking for her, is this your name on Facebook?
Somebody, who my phone?
Wait a minute, because I don't remember seeing this on Facebook.
Oh God. My full name is Jazzy Chanel.
Yeah.
But y'all can find me on Facebook at Jazzy J. That's JASZIEJAYE.
Okay, Wendell, come on. We need you to comment correctly. Hold on, I want to say hey from NOLA. What's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. We in the 205, girl.
Yeah, city girls from the 205.
Okay, land of the colony and fake abductions.
What is that? Right, go through life.
Oh, right here.
Okay,
right. Go through life.
Malicious, free, and respectful.
Yeah, malicious, free, and respectful.
I feel like for everybody, for trans, heterosexual, it's just about let's be respectful to each other. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day.
Right. I agree.
We can disagree. I don't feel like anybody disagree with me. I don't. If you transphobe, I wouldn't know because I don't pay that much attention. But if you disagree and you become disrespectful, that's when I have the issue.
Right.
Now, if you disagree, be like, all right, honey, we don't disagree, but still love you.
Yeah.
You going by your way, I'm going by mine. Okay, let's do it.
Because I do have friends who don't particularly I don't agree with parts of their life, but down to who they are. I mean, whatever they got going on ain't changing nothing in my household. As long as you ain't, my little man.
As my good
leave him alone.
She said, mind your business.
Come on.
If we always just mind the business that pays us, we would be in a so much better predicament.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like my last little question is do you feel as someone that is a part of the trans community, do you feel like you've seen other people in the trans community be bullies when it comes to like their ideologies and their thoughts?
Yes, I have. And let me just say, no one has the right to be a bully. No one, because that's just not. But I feel like during the time where she was being the bully, it was like she was protecting her space from. I'm just gonna tell y'all the incident.
Okay.
We was at a club, me and another one of my trans friends, and minding our business. We're getting drinks. We're at the bar. A young guy come up and like, hey, let me get y'all a drink, which I get that all the time because, like I said, men are visual. They see what they see and they like what they see. But of course, me being me, when a man asks me to introduce myself, if I'm not really laying down with you, trying to take you home and that, I don't have to tell you I'm trans, but I do that out of respect and safety for me. So when they were like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, yeah, I'm Jess, I'm trans. I said real quickly because I don't want you to get confused.
Right.
And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, I kind of figured it. That's why I'm over here. So I don't know who this girl was. I don't know if she was with him or what the case was. But she saw him over talking to us. As soon as she ran over there, she was like, oh, you heard talking to effing men, these drag queens. Just going off, just making a scene because she felt some type of way, not only by us being there, but the fact that, oh, this man is talking to you.
Yeah.
So she went off. She was grabbing bottles. So my friend's like, oh, you're becoming disrespectful. So I had one of those friends that don't know nothing but get out. They don't know anything about, it's like disrespect. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, girl, because at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, you're going to be in the wrong.
Right.
Because first thing I'm going to say is man. But it's like, girl, you knew that.
Yeah.
But you came over here for this war.
Yeah.
Like, just leave people alone.
So she was mad that her, somebody she knows was
in.
So, okay, when is an appropriate time to tell somebody that you're trans?
Me personally, it depends on for one, it depends on where are we. It depends on the situation. If you just come to have a casual conversation with me,
right,
I have no need to tell you that. But if you're like being flirtatious or saying things that I kind of compete that you're trying to holler at me, I'm like, yeah, I'm Jazzy, I'm trans, and most guys are like, oh, okay, I knew. Most guys, men are not dumb. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
let's be crystal clear.
Right,
men are not dumb. So I get that all the time, and men it puts me in a place of safety. So if you do try to do something to me, it's never that aspect of oh, I didn't know she was trans. Do you know 4 out of 5 trans get killed because of the fact that black men like to carry that, oh, I didn't know she was trans. But you've been talking for how long? And I'm not saying some girls don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just not the girl that pull the trigger. And I feel like half the day, if you're dealing with someone for so long,
You think so?
Yes, because for one, men seek us out for, we're a sex symbol. And men seek us out to fulfill certain needs as far as sexually. I've never been one of those girls because I always worked. And I always had, family. I always had, support. But there are girls out here that does sex work. That's all they know. So men that's what they know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I see you embody feminine, but you still have a tool that I want. Making sense? 2 + 2 = 4. So it's just like, that's not our fault because I didn't do all this for no man. I did all this because this is what I want. Now, by me being attracted to that, I'm sorry, but I let you know where to get on, get off here because I'm a lady.
So, I mean, I feel like definitely, disclosing if you're trans or not, like you said, it's important for your safety. I ain't gonna lie, I've seen some people that I wouldn't be able to tell, and not that I'm like looking like.
Exactly.
Do I see?
Let me see. What's so funny? I'm never clockable until I get to talking, and then when I talk, it kind of you know, people kind of pick up on like,
Mhm.
you know, are you trans?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you know,
Right.
I'm never afraid to not tell you.
Mhm.
But as far as in like the eyes, as far as what you see physically, you couldn't tell. You don't know.
Mhm.
But you know, because natural women have big arms,
Mhm.
natural women have broad shoulders.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
that just is what it is. So when they see me, it's just like, oh, you're and eyes on them. Let me see. Tasha K made a statement when she said, "I'm female, eyes on a rate, masculine energy and feminine energy.
Mhm.
Females do that."
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest. Some of you females out there becoming manly.
Lord.
I'm talking about real manly to the point where I'm like, you want to do hood stuff, gangster stuff, baby.
Yeah.
Be soft. Men like softness.
Yeah.
So that's why men are attracted to it, because it's like we embody that feminine and we embody that softness. Because my partner, he was like, you know, yeah, I like women too, but you know, I've been like you.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, you know. And remind you, I've been with my partner 13 years, so hey.
Yeah. Is your partner in the comments?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to pick up on it. You know, I was just trying to see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad. Unicorn.
Yes, definitely.
I'm so weak.
Well, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead, drop them in the comments for Miss J. Hey, Pretty Black, how you doing, boo?
Somebody say you are right, men are not dumb. Hello.
Yeah, they're not dumb.
They're not at all.
Especially when they be trying to play dumb. They're not dumb.
They play dumb.
But yeah, if you guys have any comments,
did we
let
miss
us
any
know. I was going through. I don't think so. There were
Okay.
some that were insensitive at the very top, so I was like,
"Oh, girl, we don't care."
Yo, I don't want to.
Because I'm sure none of them pay my bills.
No, they not. Super sweet. Yes, this is my girl.
Hey, love.
Always been sweet, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I feel I can keep it real. I'm trying to, you know, be correct on the camera because I don't want to offend anybody, but. Definitely, Jay has made a space where I feel I can just come out and ask a question, and it's gonna be met with love, understanding, and transparency. And she knows that I'm not coming in you know, I ain't coming in hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you know you do have something to do. I do. To be shady, girl.
I do. Yeah, I'm not trying to ever
do it.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I will be disrespectful. Not to you, but I don't be trying to be disrespectful on the internet. Right. But like, I definitely appreciate
girl, you know, I can, you know. I'm a lady, but I can get a look at it.
Come on, get a little cutthroat. Thank you, guys. Oh, why are you, Ebony? Get off my baby.
Who is sweet? Because baby Ella is spoiled brain.
We both are sweet.
I am a spoiled brain, but that's my man.
Oh, Jayon in the building.
Hey.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. It's Ashanti After 9. Go ahead and give them your social media handles again.
Y'all can follow me at Facebook at Jazzy J. I'm not too much on my Twitter or anything like that, but if y'all have any questions, if them feel like they need some valuable information or anything they want to express that they didn't feel like they was comfortable to express on the live, please do not hesitate to inbox me. I'm always open to answer anything. Like I said, that's Jazzy, JASZIE, JAYE, Facebook. So yeah.
And it's your girl Ashanti After 9. Make sure you guys like, comment, share the video, and subscribe. You can find me on social media platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Ashanti After 9 on all platforms, and now Twitch. I'm about to get in my Twitch bag, so make sure y'all follow. Girl, it's another bag. We'll talk about it later. But make sure y'all follow. I appreciate you guys for commenting, and we are out.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, technical.